Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I'm your host, Murph. I hope everybody is having a great day out there today. I hope your past week has been good. Obviously, first off, Happy New Year's to everybody. I hope everybody had a safe and great time on New Year's Eve, ringing in the new year. I went up to my buddy Johnny B. He rented a house up at the North Shore. And so Wednesday we went up and played golf at Turtle Bay, the Palmer course. The Fazio course is still closed there. Myself and Chris Wright, we played Johnny B and his buddy Jordan. We gave them a stroke a hole and 2 on the par 5s on the front 9 and proceeded to get beat by them. And then they only got a stroke and a half on the par 5s on the back, and we still couldn't catch them. So we ended up losing to those two guys at Turtle Bay. I didn't play all that bad. I think I shot 77 or something like that. It was pretty windy, but it was a good time and great company, of course. And then New Year's Eve, I went back up and stayed New Year's Eve for the celebration, New Year's Eve, ringing in the new year. And it had a house full. Obviously, there was a bunch of people there. But ended up playing cards and having a good time, eating some great food. Thank you guys again for the food. And then we went outside at midnight to watch the fireworks. I don't know, for those of you that don't live here on Oahu, this place goes absolutely crazy with fireworks on New Year's Eve. Not only on New Year's Eve, but on any holiday, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. It is one of the craziest places where, like, the state did not have fireworks this year, but the residents did, and it was a show. If you could go on YouTube and look up Oahu fireworks displays or anything like that, especially in the Waipahu and Ewa Beach area, man, it is crazy, the fireworks that go on here. And so up North Shore, they basically kind of do the same thing up at North Shore. It was a bunch of the residents up there around where we were staying. They were letting off, huge fireworks. It was crazy, but it was pretty cool. We had a great time. And then, of course, New Year's Day. I actually came back down to Ewa Beach New Year's Day and ended up watching the game here. Obviously, being a Buckeyes fan, I was rooting for my Buckeyes as they proceeded to put a beat down on Clemson. So in honor of them, got a little bit of the fight song, and anyhow, it was a good game. And Justin Fields, wow, that guy, he had a tremendous game against those guys. And I think Dabo Sweeney probably should not have said anything and just kept his mouth shut and gave us some fuel for the fire by saying how the Buckeyes, in his opinion, were ranked about 11th. That just fired our guys up even more. Not that they needed it, because they have been playing some great football, but it was enough that Justin Fields had a field day. No pun intended. He ended up throwing 6 touchdowns and had 385 yards. And they end up beating them 49-28, 21. And the Buckeyes were getting 7 points on the spread. So anyhow, Dabo just should have not opened his mouth and said anything and just played the game. Fields also set a record for passing TDs in the Sugar Bowl, and also a school record for the most TDs in a bowl game. That running back we got too, Sermon, he had 193 yards and a TD. He's a really good player. And, we've had good players, good running backs here the last 4 or 5 years at Ohio State. So I think the boys will be ready for Alabama. They play on the 11th. The last time we played Bama was in 2015 at the Sugar Bowl, and we ended up winning that game 42-35. So I see a similar result in this game, hopefully. It's going to be a good game. But anyhow, looking forward to that on the 11th. Go Buckeyes. Saturday, we had our first, I know I mentioned this in the last podcast, we had our first season tournament for the VGA, and it was at Eva Beach. I didn't play great, but I didn't play horrible. I shot 77 and lost to a guy in my flight who got to play from the red tees. Now, listen, I understand that if you're 70 or older, you can play from the forward tees. But that was designed for a guy that was 70 or older that didn't hit the ball more than 150 yards on his drive. These guys, this guy, anyhow, he shoots in the 70s from the white tees. So I was not real happy. Now granted, you got to remember, like I said in the last podcast, the VGA wasn't just formed for competitive golf. It's also formed because it's a way for these guys to be involved in something that takes their mind off of negative thoughts and gives them something to look forward to, and camaraderie with their fellow veterans, and to get out into the fresh air and get some exercise and play some golf and have some fun. And we were reminded of that. One of the guys who was a member of the VGA passed on a message to everybody before we teed off and let us know that a good friend of his, another battle buddy that he served with, ended up taking his own life a couple of days ago. He wanted to remind everybody that, this is why we're out here playing in these tournaments and spending time together, is to take care of each other. And that, if you've got somebody that served, a veteran who served, call and check on them. Call and check on them, see if they're good, see if they need anything, and just stay in contact with them. Now, I know it was kind of odd because somebody had just talked to this guy, and the next day this happened. So you just don't know. You don't know. And like I told the guy that was telling us this, it's awesome that guys check in on each other and want to help each other. But you got to also realize that the person that is having the problem, if they don't want the help, then whatever you say or do is not really going to matter too much. So for those people that have contact with somebody and they think that they're, doing things to help them, and then something bad happens, you can't feel guilty about that, and you can't take that on as, you did something wrong or anything like that, because the person has to want to help, want to have that help and want to get help to actually, for it to work, for it to be good. So a bit of bad news. I'm sorry. And I told that to the guy, that sorry that he lost one of his buddies, and thanked him for sharing his message with everybody, because that I had just mentioned this on the last podcast when I was talking about the VGA. So anyhow, it was our first tournament, so it was good. Eva Beach, great course, always. Only complaint, again, is the bunkers. So inconsistent. I was in one bunker, and it had plenty of sand, and it was good. And then I was in another bunker that was like hitting off of concrete. So, but the rest of the course, the greens, the fairways, the rough, just the whole condition of the course is awesome. It's really, really good. Another kind of thing that people need to think about when they're playing on the greens, if you hit your ball on the green and you leave a ball mark, please fix that ball mark. The reason being is that I don't know how many times I've gone onto a green, hit onto a green, and went up to mark my ball, and there's probably 4 or 5 ball marks that nobody replaced. Or maybe they did, or they did fix them, but they didn't fix them the correct way. And there is a correct way to do it. A lot of people, you'll see guys, they'll stick their tool down in the ground and then they'll lift up, like trying to lift the hole up. but that doesn't repair it correctly. What that does is when you put your tool in and lift up, that tears the roots of the grass and it won't grow back. So it leaves that like dead spot that you might see on greens. The correct way to fix the ball mark is to put your tool into on the edge of the ball mark and push forward towards the middle of the ball mark. And you do that all the way around the ball mark, and then you tap it down with your putter. That keeps the roots from being torn up and not growing again. So just if you guys are playing, fix your ball marks if you hit it on the green and leave a mark. Not only fix your ball mark, but fix whatever ball marks you see that need to be fixed on the green. I was told by a guy one time that you should always leave the golf course in better shape than you found it. And that goes for, like, even when I'm driving and I go to hit my ball, I see a can or a paper or something laying on the ground. I go over and pick it up and throw it in the cart. And that just comes from also, we do that working at a golf course. You want your course to look nice. So even though I don't work at that golf course, I'm still going to try to leave it in better shape than I found it. So just a couple of things to think about when you're playing. Okay, let's take a short break, and then we'll come back and talk about the FIA Championship Belt Match. All right, we'll be right back. Hey, guys, I got to tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you how. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Not only that, but Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other sites. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Sunday, the FIA Championship Belt Match took place in Honolulu. And, wow, Joe P., this guy, he hadn't played for the last week because of the holiday stuff. So he had spent time with his daughter. He has a 5-year-old daughter. She's very cute, very good girl. He spent time with her and didn't play any golf. And so I thought, all right, man, I might have a chance then, because I have been playing. And I haven't been playing all that bad. But holy cow, he came out firing on all cylinders. He shot 5 under on the front and then had a couple more birdies on the back. He ended up shooting 7 under, 65. I shot 72. I couldn't catch him. I shot 2 under on the front, and then on the back, I couldn't catch him. He was just too much on fire. The guy, he's just a machine. So this is his second week after regaining the belt. Today, we played Beach Boys, and we played at Hawaii Prince, another course that is in good shape, but also the same problem. Several ball marks on the green that had not been repaired. But other than that, the course was in great shape. Bunkers were good. Weather was good. Ended up shooting 72. Won most of my individual matches against guys, and then didn't do too bad in the Murph game, and won a skin and a chippy, so it wasn't a bad day. It's pretty good. Locally, we have the Century Tournament of Champions starting Thursday at Kapalua, the plantation course on Maui. The favorite to win this year, ranked number 1 in the power rankings, Dustin Johnson. They think he's going to win. Justin Thomas, he's the defending champion. He's ranked 2nd in the rankings. And I tell you, I'm going to pick Webb Simpson. Now, before anybody jumps on me and starts sending me emails about why I think Webb Simpson is going to join or going to win this tournament, it was probably about the year that Webb Simpson won the U.S. Open, and I want to say it was around 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. We had a pool. I was still living in Ohio on the mainland, and we had a pool where we picked who we thought was going to win the U.S. Open. I want to say we picked 2 people. We might have picked 3, or maybe we just picked 1. I can't remember. But anyhow, I picked Webb Simpson to win, and the guys were like, "What? What makes you think he's going to win?" I'm like, I just got a good feeling about this guy, and he's got good game, and he ended up winning it. So needless to say, I won the pool, which was pretty cool. But everybody just couldn't believe I picked Webb Simpson to win, and now I'm sure that people are going to say the same thing this time. You know, I like Webb Simpson. I like his game. I like how he approaches the game, and I'm not sure if he's won here at the Kapalua. For some reason, I want to say that he won, but I don't know that for sure. In the past, I can't remember when, but anyhow, I think he's going to win it. Also in the news, John Rahm, who has played TaylorMade clubs since he's came out, has just recently switched to Callaway. So Callaway clubs will be in John Rahm's bag at this tournament, at the Century Tournament of Champions. And back in the earlier part of this year, we were supposed to play our VGA State Championship tournament at Kapalua. And so there was a group of us that went over and played. I want to say it was probably, maybe May or somewhere. We went over, there was a group of us, and we went over to play it and get things lined up for the state tournament. And they were doing some work on the course. So I don't know if you guys know. So the 18th hole is a 677 yard par 5. And that's from the tournament tees, which is all the way back. So when we played, I just told everybody, okay, everybody's got to play from back there to see what they shoot. And I've played that course several times because me and my buddy Ski normally go over in November for the Maui Invitational Basketball Tournament. And so we play Kapalua every time we go over. And I'm just missed an eagle. We both just missed eagle putts on 18 because the way that hole is set up, when you hit your drive, if you hit it up towards the right side of the fairway, the way it slopes and it's downhill, the ball will roll. And so I've hit my drive down there before and it's rolled all the way down there. And then I hit my second shot up to the right again, because when you get up towards the green, it slopes down to the left. And if you hit your ball up towards the right side of the fairway, it'll hit up there and it'll slope down right to the green. So when we went over this past year to play, when I say we, I'm talking about the group of VGA guys that went over, not me and Ski. When we went over to play, we played Kapalua, obviously, and they were doing some work like it. I thought maybe they were doing some irrigation or some sprinkler systems or something on 18. So I hit my drive and the ball didn't go anywhere. I mean, did not go anywhere. And so after we got done playing, they opened up the pro shop wasn't open, but they opened it up for us to go in and check some stuff out because they were looking at buying stuff for the tournament, deciding what to put in the gift bags and stuff. And we were talking to the pro, and I told him, I'm like, hey, what's up with 18? Because I remember playing before where my ball would just roll and it didn't go anywhere. And he goes, yeah, we're putting in new turf. So by the time the tournament comes around, it should be good to go. But I was like, the balls aren't going to go anywhere. But then again, I'm not a PGA professional, playing professional. Those guys I'm sure will get some roll. And plus, like he said, it's supposed to be good by the time the tournament comes around. So we'll see what happened. It just surprised me. I was shocked. I was like, holy cow, I couldn't have lost that much distance in that short amount of time. I just played it the year before. So that tournament starts Thursday, Century Tournament of Champions. And obviously that is a tournament for anybody that won a tournament last year. Now, the first full field tournament is the Sony Open here on Oahu at Waialae Country Club. That tournament starts on January 11th. Unfortunately, this year, there will be no spectators at the course. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be players, coaches, or family, But as far as the general public is not going to be allowed there. Now, I have heard, I had a guy talk to me and say that it's possible he may be able to get passes through one of the vendors. And so I may be able to get to go the weekend to watch a little bit of golf out there, but we'll see. But yeah, that tournament starts on the 11th, and that's the first full field tournament of the season. Well, it used to be this season. Now, since they started the season earlier, they've already played like 3 tournaments. Obviously, they were off these last couple of weeks because of holidays, but it used to be the first full field tournament of the year. Let's see. What else? Tiger. How about Tiger Woods? Wednesday, Tiger turned 45 years old. And it was funny, I read an article somewhere that I think it was Tom Lehman said that he would not be surprised if Tiger wins 20 more tournaments in the next 5 years. I think I've said this before in the past. I mess with some of my buddies who are really big Tiger Woods fans, and I mess with them so that they think that I'm not a Tiger fan. I am a Tiger fan. Obviously, he's done so much for the game. But with that being said, I also do not think Tiger is going to win 5 more tournaments in the next 5 years. Okay, maybe that's being a little too conservative. But all I know is I don't want him to win any tournaments for the next 30 tournaments so I can win my bet against my buddy Nordy. But other than that, I seriously doubt he's going to win 20 more tournaments in the next 5 years. Now, he's tied with the most wins with Sam Snead, so all he needs is one more win to get that record. And obviously, I don't think he'll reach Jack's major record. I think he's 4 or 5 short of that for majors. I don't see him reaching that either, but you never know. So, but we'll see. He's Tiger Woods. I won't put anything past him. I mean, the guy is, like I said, he turned 45, so he's kind of an old, young 45. He's had surgeries on his knees, multiple surgeries on his knees. He's had back surgery. So he's 45 isn't saying that he's old, but his body's been through a lot. So that kind of puts a little wear and tear on you and makes you feel older. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back. This podcast is brought to you by Smart Boy Studios, the best studio and artist collective out of Ohio. Smart Boy Studios provides recording, mixing, and mastering services, as well as any other audio post-production you need. Smart Boy Entertainment artists Corey Gossett and JV Tree have a new EP out on November 20th, 5 Day Friends. The 6-song project explores the fun and friendly energy that these two artists have on a track together. With production from D Swove, Vesta, and Ash Matthews, you can't help but to bob your head, tap your foot, and sing along to the stellar set of tracks. Head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, and any upcoming events. If you'd like to support Smart Boy Studios and their artists, visit threads.smartboystudios.com to check out their merch. They offer hoodies, hats, shirts, and more. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, let me just say thank you to those of you that have supported the podcast and have taken time out of your day to listen, or night for that matter. I've had a couple of people tell me they kind of turn me on when they go to bed and fall asleep to me. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Maybe it's my soothing voice that puts them to sleep, or I'm boring. But I appreciate everybody taking the time out to listen to the podcast. If you guys have any topics you want to discuss, or if you have any questions you want me to try to answer for you, please shoot me an email at murphsplace808@gmail.com. That's murphsplace808@gmail.com. And if you just want to tell me stories or whatever, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about golf, just shoot me an email. Or you can go to my Anchor website and leave me a voice message there. And obviously you can listen to all the podcast on all the platforms out there: Google Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify. You can listen to the podcast and all those, and tell your friends about it. Have them tune in and shoot me an email, letting me know what they want me to talk about or any questions they may have. If you'd like to support the podcast, just go to the Anchor website, and there's a link there that you can help support the podcast. I appreciate any and all help to keep bringing content to you guys. With that being said, I hope everybody has a great week out there. I hope that the Buckeyes pull out this win next week. Well, is it next week? The 11th. I'm losing track of my days. I can't remember if, next Monday. Sorry. Next Monday. Speaking of which, maybe I'll have the results of that game by the time I do the podcast. Hopefully I'm reporting that we have a win. So with that being said, everybody stay safe. If you're playing golf, hit them long, hit them straight, and try not to hit them very often. Aloha, everybody.